I've got an itch I can't scratch, I'm missing a piece that completes a whole part of me, an open wound scar to see. Everybody come here, gather round, welcome to the freak show, the best in town. What the hell's wrong with me? I don't get along with anybody, honestly. I've been living in my own head constantly, thoughts jumbled round, think I need a new lobotomy. Wait, all these thoughts are too negative. I don't wanna get lost in the sedative. Gotta show them what I got, I'm competitive. You know I'm about to go off, I won't let them win. I'll take a stab, I wanna chase the bag. I wanna weigh, I can change all the things I lack. I gotta face the facts, I got a taste in that. Got me obsessed with the rest, I got an itch to scratch. Lonely now, I'll give up everything.
The venom in my brain, running from the past, wanna escape my pain. I just wanna be a better person, I deserve this, I just wanna break these chains. Always asking for greatness, true to myself, I never fake it. Seen too many once, I just so they get famous. And when I say the truth, most really can't take it. In spite of everything I've been through, I'ma make it. Fake friends, but on my downfall is toxic. Day one, turned into outlaws for profit. Now all I do is write verses, no talking. All I do is put the work in, no option. This was everything I ever wanted. Created a legacy off of me, just being honest. And the fake ones hate, but it's all to no avail. They wanna see me lose, but you know I never fail.
I'll give up everything, daunting if I can see my dream. Cause I'll do anything. Want a reality. Lonely now, I'll give up everything. Daunting if I can see my dreams. Things right, cause I'll do anything.
Hello everyone, I hope you're having a good day. Today we're talking about Alexee Trevizo. We're going to go over what she did, who she is, and then I'm going to read her arrest affidavit, and then I'm going to read excuse me, the court documents for, hey Aussie True Crime, the court documents for the lawsuit with her suing the hospital. So let's get right to it. It's a lot of reading, so I have to prepare myself. I have my little Dolly Vision candle lit, and I'm like trying to relax. Let's see. Y'all, look at this picture. It's a cute picture, but I can't stand this girl at all. Alexee Trevizo had arrived at the hospital earlier that day, situated approximately 80 miles from the New Mexico. Hold on one second. I don't have any idea what they're saying. Despite test results confirming her pregnancy, Trevizo adamantly denied ever having engaged in sexual activity, as a doctor can be heard explaining to the officers in the recorded footage. Tomorrow, I'm going to start playing the body cam footage. It's a lot. It's like 7 or 8 hours total. So I'm going to break it up in 2 or 3 days. In January, a hospital custodian noticed a trash bag that appeared heavier than usual and observed blood in the bathroom. The defendant had previously visited the facility complaining of back pain, and medical professionals had confirmed her pregnancy. Subsequently, Trevizo secluded herself in the bathroom for an extended period, gave birth, and placed the newborn inside the trash. She allegedly locked herself inside the hospital bathroom for a considerable duration. When doctors eventually persuaded her to open the door, they were met with a disturbing sight. She was meticulously cleaning up a substantial amount of blood from the floor. They didn't persuade her to open the door. They demanded her to open the door and was going to get a key to the bathroom when she opened the door. They were in the process of going to get a key. Come on now, people. Trevizo purportedly asserted that the baby was not breathing at birth, leading her to panic and dispose of the newborn in the trash. Following several months of investigation and the autopsy results received on March 28th, authorities contend that the baby boy was indeed born alive in Paris due to being placed in the bag. Okay, sorry. Let me take a sip. I'm sorry. Alexee Trevizo was apprehended by the Artesia Police Department in connection with the incident that transpired on January 27th at Artesia General Hospital. During this incident, the defendant's infant was discovered unresponsive inside a trash bag within a restroom. Authorities have stated that an autopsy determined the baby's death to be a result of homicide due to oxygen deprivation. "I'm sorry, it came out of me and I didn't know what to do," she responded promptly after a doctor conveyed the distressing news of the deceased newborn discovered in the bathroom to her mother. "Lexi, I told you about this. I just asked you, baby, to tell me the truth," her mother, overwhelmed with grief, reacted. "I was scared," Trevizo uttered these words prior to addressing the nurse with, it was not crying, or nothing was crying." "What did you do to it?" her mother demanded, her anger escalating visibly until doctors intervened to keep her from interfering before the police investigation could proceed. "She put the baby in the trash can and then another clean liner over the top of it," the doctor said. Trevizo's mother expressed profound astonishment upon discovering the extreme measures her daughter had taken to conceal her pregnancy. Subsequently, the New Mexico Office of the Medical Investigator concluded that the baby's demise was the result of a homicide. I think this is the part right here that I keep reiterating when I talk about this case. "Lexi, have you watched the news about what the girls do to their babies and they go to jail?" See, this is what makes me think that the mom knew or definitely had suspicions. She says, "I told you about this. I just asked you, baby, to tell me the truth." So maybe her mother had suspicions and questioned her about it previously. Throughout the video, Trevizo sobs continuously, repeatedly asserting that the baby had not cried when born. How many, hey, Cass, hey, Mirandy, thank you. How many people have babies that initially don't cry when they're born? I'm one of them, PJ, and that's why it makes me so mad. But I do believe that some babies don't cry right away when they're born, right? As much as, I mean, I don't know. Obviously, I don't know. Her attorney, Gary Mitchell, stated that Trevizo had no prior criminal record and should not be facing a murder charge. Following a thorough 4-month and a long investigation, court records indicate that Trevizo was arrested and formally charged with first-degree murder, child abuse, and tampering with evidence. At the top of chat, I pinned a link that is for the petition about her going to college and stuff. So if you want to sign that, it's at the top. of chat. I think these pictures are pretty too, you guys. 19-year-old Alexee Trevizo continues college attendance after disposed of her newborn in trash. Her college career. A teenager in let's see, we already know all this. A teenager in New Mexico facing allegations of being involved in the death of her newborn in a hospital bathroom has been granted permission by a judge to attend in-person university classes. And this is what the petition that I pinned at the top is for. Everyone is pissed off because she's allowed to go to in-person classes. She was doing Zoom or whatever. Now she's allowed to go to in-person classes and have relations with her boyfriend, the baby's dad, which was not allowed at first. 19-year-old Alexee Trevizo, together with her attorney, Gary C. Mitchell, participated in a pretrial hearing in an Eddy County court via Zoom. During this hearing, they addressed various motions and counter motions that have been recently filed in her case. Trevizo faces charges of first-degree murder, child abuse, and tampering with evidence in connection to the birth of her son on January 27th. Hospital staff at Artesia General Hospital discovered the infant in the trash. The defense contends that the child was stillborn, while prosecutors argue that the baby was murdered. They cite a medical examiner's report that classifies the death as a homicide based on the presence of air in the infant's lungs. The defense achieved a favorable outcome at the conclusion of the hearing by successfully securing a modification of their client's release conditions. This change permits her to physically return to New Mexico State University at Las Cruces without violating any legal restrictions. Judge Jane Gray expressed a sense of surprise and disbelief in response to a prior ruling in the case made by another judge. This earlier ruling had employed a domestic violence framework to uphold a complete no-contact order between Trevizo and the father of the child. Notably, both the defendant and the father of the deceased child are students at the same school. Diana Lucci, representing the state of New Mexico, expressed concerns regarding an ongoing personal relationship between the defendant and the other college student. I wonder if they're still together. These concerns are rooted in a desire to prevent Trevizo from becoming pregnant and potentially engaging in further criminal activities. These concerns are rooted in a desire to prevent her. Oh, that's why it was okay. The judge adjusted Trevizo's bail conditions, permitting her to attend the university in person in preparation for her trial. It's important to be aware that the trial for Alexee on the criminal charges is set for, that's wrong. It is now set for August 2024. A new lawsuit filed on behalf of the estate of a newborn who died in a hospital trash can blames the Artesia Hospital for the death. And then a new lawsuit gives a timeline trying to prove the hospital could have done a lot of things to save him. A new lawsuit on behalf of the newborn has been filed, and for the first time, we are learning the name of the infant, Alex Ray Fierro. The suit claims the hospital and its staff failed to provide the care Trevizo needed and are responsible for the baby's death. According to court records, Alexee Trevizo was taken to Artesia General Hospital on the night of January 26th at 11:47 p.m. Trevizo was admitted for complaints of lower back and abdominal pains. Go away, thank you. The suit claims as part of the treatment, doctors gave Trevizo a series of pain medications beginning at 12:18 a.m. on January 27th, with stronger medication administered 10 minutes later, which included morphine. I was thinking about this earlier before my live. I wonder if she was admittedly taking these morphine and all these other pain medications via IV to maybe try and cause a stillbirth, or, you know, if you can miscarriage at 9 or 8 months, I don't know. I'm not sure. But I wonder if that's why she was allowed. I mean, that's why she wanted to take the medicine, was to do that. Like, really, the pain being controlled by one pain medication and then her saying it didn't work, so she wanted something stronger. Because it says with stronger medication administered 10 minutes later. So she was given a series of pain medications and then she was given something stronger 10 minutes later. Hi, Tina. Thank you for being here. The suit claims despite doctors knowing she was pregnant at 12:51 a.m., they continued to administer stronger narcotics like morphine to Trevizo. It states Trevizo gave birth unattended around 1:40 a.m., about 2 hours after arriving at the hospital. A custodian would find the baby dead in a trash bag an hour later. The lawsuit claims that doctors failed to tell Trevizo she was pregnant and failed to provide the appropriate care for her, knowing that she was pregnant. They knew for like um, a whole how many minutes? It also claims that hospital staff allowed police into her room after the death of the baby, asked questions, and released video to the police, which the suit said goes against HIPAA laws. Does that go against HIPAA laws? I don't know. I don't know because it's legal for legal purposes. So I wouldn't think so, but I don't know for fact. The representative of the estate is asking for a jury trial. Hello. Trevizo is charged with first degree murder. Her trial is expected to take place in the middle of 2024. Hey, hey, hey. Now we get to the documents. All right. Can everybody see that? Let me do this. Y'all hit that like button for me, please, and thank you. All right, let's see. If I can, I think I can make it bigger, right? Um, I don't know. Okay. State of New Mexico versus Alexee Trevizo. Date of birth, November 2003. Criminal complaints. Whoa. What happened here? Come back. Hey, what happened? Oh, hold on 1 second. I'm sorry, you guys. I don't know what I did to this stupid paper, but I did something to it. Am I going to be able to read it now? Oh man. Jude, somebody tell me how to fix this. All right. All right, let me see if I can read it like this. It's frustrating. Okay. put it up and let's see. Criminal complaint, crime, count 1, murder in the first degree, or alternatively, abuse of a child, intentional, resulting in death. Count 2, tampering with evidence. The undersigned, under penalty of perjury, complains and says that on or about the 27th day of January 2023, in the county of Eddy, state of New Mexico, the above named defendant did kill John Doe, a human being, without lawful justification or excuse, by any of the means with which death may be caused, did knowingly, intentionally, or negligently, and without justifiably cause or permit John Doe, a child, to be placed in a situation that endangered or might have endangered John Doe's life or health, and the abuse resulted in the death of John Doe. Did destroy, change, hide, place, or fabricate physical evidence to wit John Doe with the intent to prevent the apprehension, prosecution, or conviction, and the highest crime for which tampering with evidence is committed in a capital first degree or second degree felony. And then they swear that they wasn't lying. All right. Arrest affidavit. Am I muted? No. Oh, hello, Kaz. Do you hear me now? Okay. Man, I really wish I could make this bigger. All right, let's go. The undersigned, being duly sworn on his oath, states that he has reason to believe that on or about the 27th day of January 2023, in the county of Eddy, state of New Mexico, the above named defendant did commit the crimes of murder in the first degree or abuse of a child, intentional, resulting in death. Count 2, tampering with evidence, contrary to the statutes of the state of New Mexico. The undersigned further states the following facts on oath to establish probable cause to believe that the above named defendant committed the crime charged. Detective Barnabas Gonzalez, employed by Artesia Police Department, has been employed as a law enforcement officer for 7 years and is currently assigned to the Criminal Investigation Division. He has had training consisting of Law Enforcement Training Academy and the TEEX Forensic Training. He has conducted several misdemeanor and felony investigations, several which have resulted in the arrest and convictions of the individuals, contrary to NMSA 1978. On January 27, 23, at approximately 2:45, Detective Gonzalez was contacted in reference to a death investigation. I was advised the emergency room staff at the Artesia General Hospital, AGH, had found a deceased newborn baby in the restroom trash can after a 19-year-old female had given birth in the restroom and did not tell anyone about it. On arrival to AGH, I spoke with officers and was advised of what happened. I was informed the suspect, Alexee Trevizo, was currently being prepped for an emergency medvac flight. Sip. Are you you got your earbuds fixed now? Okay. Okay. So she was being flown to Loveless Medical Center in Roswell, New Mexico. I did not speak with Alexee before she was flown to Roswell. I spoke with the hospital staff one at a time who had witnessed the events and had them tell me what they witnessed. I will be showing body cam footage of all that, all the interviews, the law enforcement officers and detectives talking to the mom, even talking to the baby daddy and his mom, and the hospital footage. So we'll see all of that. I was informed Alexee had gone to the emergency room for lower back pains. Alexee had denied being pregnant and told nursing staff she had regular periods and did not have sex. Alexee told nursing staff she was currently on her period. Lab work was done and Alexee was found to be pregnant. Alexee went to the bathroom and refused to come out after being inside the restroom for an extended period of time. Alexee did not come out until nursing staff got keys from security to unlock the door and told Alexee they were coming in. Alexee opened the restroom door and went back to her room. The nursing staff found the restroom covered in blood after Alexee opened the door. The nursing staff started treatment on Alexee for what they initially thought was Alexee trying to harm herself or having pregnancy-related medical problems, such as a miscarriage. The nursing staff checked the toilet and found it empty. The nursing staff was unsure if Alexee was experiencing ectopic pregnancy, miscarriage, or was trying to cause a self-induced miscarriage. That's what I think. The nursing staff started treatment on Alexee while a housekeeper was called to clean the large amount of blood inside the restroom. The housekeeper cleaned up the blood first and then went to take the trash can bag out of the trash can and found it to be much heavier than usual. The housekeeper said she looked through the trash can. Bag was folded under with the tie end underneath itself. The housekeeper said she observed what looked to be a baby through the side of the trash bag and called the nurses over to check if it was one. And you'll see all of this happen on the body cam footage. 2 nurses came to check the bag, and when they opened the trash bag, they found a newborn male that was already cold blue with no signs of life and a temperature of 95 degrees. One of the nurses said after they moved the deceased newborn to the room he was currently in, they had not moved anything and had left him as they found him. The items in the trash can with the newborn were paper towels and bags from the restroom and a tampon. They contacted the ER doctor, Heather Vasquez, who checked the newborn and called time of death as 2:28. Dr. Vasquez spoke with Alexee about the incident. Alexee told doctor the baby wasn't breathing when she gave birth. I later reviewed Officer Williams' body cam video of when doctor spoke with Alexee about the incident. Alexee said the newborn came out of her and she didn't know what to do with it. Alexee said it was not crying or anything when she gave birth. Alexee said she just put it in a bag. Alexee said nothing was crying. She referred to the newborn baby as nothing. When asked by Rosa about what Alexee did, Alexee said she put it in a bag. I then checked the newborn in trauma 2 as I waited for an OMI field agent to arrive from Carlsbad. I observed what appeared to this officer to be a full-term newborn male with a partial umbilical cord on top of a medical pad on top of the medical bed. I observed the following from AGH security footage of the emergency room for January 27, 23. The security footage has a hallway view of the restroom used by Alexee. At approximately 1:39 hours, she entered the restroom in the emergency room. Alexee had left her hand at her buttocks and appeared to be in a hurry. That's my favorite picture of her, if you don't already know, is when she's holding her butt running to the bathroom. Okay. To be in a hurry. At approximately 1:40 hours, Rosa checked on Alexee. 1:49 hours, Rosa checked on Alexee again. 1:53 to 1:56 hours, ER staff checked on Alexee. 1:57, Alexee exited the bathroom. 2:08, housekeeper started cleaning bathroom. 2:20, wait, 2:08, she starts cleaning the bathroom. I'm sorry, it's a little small. 2:20, uh, okay, 2:08 is when she started cleaning the bathroom. 2:26 is when she found him and alerted the other ER staff. Got it. 2:28, he was taken to trauma 2 and pronounced. The numbers are really small, guys. At approximately, okay, he was pronounced. On 3/28/23, I received the report of findings, post-mortem examination, and toxicology report for this case from the Office of the Medical Investigator. The post-mortem examination alleges the cause of death as entrapment. The post-mortem examination lists the manner of death as homicide. And here you go, right here. Office of the Medical Investigator, post-mortem examination, baby John Doe, case number, all the information, cause of death, entrapment, manner of death, homicide, signed by the two MDs who did it. So there's that. Okay. The post-mortem examination says the following. Excerpts were taken directly from the narrative, summary, and opinion. Baby John Doe was a newborn baby boy who died shortly after birth. Autopsy and post-mortem computed tomography showed an infant male without any anatomic abnormalities or obvious physical injuries. The lungs were aerated and there was air in the stomach and no changes of decomposition. The connections in the heart that allow proper blood flow in utero were still open, which is not unusual in a newborn. The adrenal glands showed microscopic hemorrhage, which can be seen in hypoxia, lack of air. The air in the lungs and stomach and no evidence of decomposition is consistent with the baby having been born alive. Based on length, weight, and organ size, he was approximately 38 weeks gestational age, which is term, and compatible with life outside the uterus. Entrapment occurs when an individual is in an airtight or relatively airtight container, in this case, a tied plastic trash bag, and consumes all of the available oxygen until there's no longer enough oxygen to sustain life. Due to the facts listed above, I am requesting an arrest warrant for the above named suspect. Ta-da! And that's her arrest affidavit. This is the lawsuit with a representative of Alex Fierro versus the hospital. All right, here we go. Oh no. Okay, here we go. Close all of this. Okay. State of New Mexico, County of San Miguel, 4th Judicial District Court. Arthur Bustos as wrongful death personal representative of the estate of Alex Ray Fierro, deceased, plaintiff, versus the Artesia Special Hospital District, DBA Artesia General Hospital. Heather Marshall Vasquez, MD, John and Dane Doe's 8th through F, and John Doe Companies G through K. Oh, she ain't suing just the hospital. She's suing the doctor and everything else too. Whoa. All right. I see you, Arthur Bustos. Mm-mm-mm. All right, here we go, guys. First Amendment complaint for wrongful death and punitive damages. Comes now plaintiff Arthur Bustos as wrongful death personal representative of the estate of Alex Ray Fieto, deceased, by and through his undersigned counsel of record, and states the following as his first amended complaint for wrongful death and punitive damages against the Artesia Special Hospital District, DBA Artesia General Hospital, AGH or Hospital. Heather Marshall Vasquez, MD, Doctor. John and Jane Doe's A through F. I don't understand. Are those the nurses? And John Doe Companies G through K. Hereinafter referred to such designations or collectively as defendants. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4. Parties. Plaintiff Arthur Bustos is a citizen of the state of New Mexico and is a resident of San Miguel County, New Mexico. Arthur Bustos has previously been appointed as the wrongful death representative of the estate of Alex Ray Fieto, hereinafter sometimes referred to as decedent or Alex, pursuant to New Mexico Wrongful Death Act NMSA 1978 41-2-3 and cause number D 412 CV 2023 00223, 4th Judicial District, San Miguel County, New Mexico. Defendant Artesia Special Hospital District, Artesia General Hospital, is authorized to do business in the state of New Mexico and is doing business in the state of New Mexico. Upon information and belief, Artesia Special Hospital District was doing business as Artesia General Hospital, Eddy County, New Mexico, at all material times hereto. Defendant doctor, upon information and belief, is a medical doctor doing business in the state of New Mexico at all material times hereto. The hospital and the doctor acted by and through their agents, partners, officers, and employees and are responsible for their acts or omissions through the doctrines of respondeat superior or agency. John and Jane Doe, A through F, inclusive or or unknown persons who may have treated, cared for, participated in decisions, or otherwise have contributed to the death of decedent or otherwise violated the rights of the decedent, and as discovery proceeds, if the names of such individuals are determined, they will be substituted for the John and Jane Doe designations. Wow. John Doe Companies G through K, inclusive are companies, partnerships, corporations, limited liability companies, or any other entity, public or private, that may have contributed to the death of decedent, may have employed persons that contributed to the death of the decedent, or otherwise violated the rights of the decedent as a discovery proceeds. If the names of such companies are determined, they will be substituted for the John Doe Companies designations. Jurisdiction, venue, and joinder. Jurisdiction over the parties and the subject matter herein is proper within this court pursuant to Article 6 of the New Mexico Constitution. Venue is proper in this court because plaintiff Arthur Bustos resides in San Miguel County, state of New Mexico. One moment, please. My mouth is so dry. We're on number 3. And let me see. 19 pages. Ooh. Hey, girl. I saw you had a live today, right? So, I went live earlier so that we can make it to your live too. Okay. At 6 my time, right? You can drop your link. Let's see. Kaz, can you drop Aussie True Crimes link also? Factual background. On January 26, 2023, Alexee J. Trevizo, hereinafter Alexee, The surviving mother of the decedent attended Artesia High School as a student, was on the cheer squad, and attended Artesia High School cheer practice on January 26, 2023. A whole 38 weeks pregnant. On January 26, 2023, at approximately 11:47 p.m., Alexee was taken to AGH emergency department complaining of low back pain and abdominal pain. That cheer practice sure made that labor come hum. On a pain level of 1 to 10, with 10 being the greatest, Alexee stated that she was a 10. Alexee is a female of childbearing age. Alexee had regular menses, had used birth control, pills, and condoms, worked at a minimum of 2 hours, 5 days per week, and had worked out on January 26, 2023 for over 3 hours with the cheer team. On January 27, 2023, at approximately 12:05 a.m., Alexee was seen in the emergency department at AGH, at which time the attending physician was Heather Marshall Vasquez, MD. Upon examination, Alexee complained of low back pain and told the doctor she had been at cheerleading practice and felt like she needed to have a bowel movement, but was unable to do so, and further indicated that she was also experiencing abdominal pain. Alexee denied being pregnant. Alexee denied pregnancy and informed the doctor that she was on her period. Alexee was asked if she had undergone a pelvic exam before, and she told the staff of AGH that she had not. On January 27, 2023, at 12:18 a.m., medication was given to Alexee consisting of, I don't know how to say that, but it's Flexeril and Tylenol, acetaminophen. On January 27th, 2023, at 12:28 a.m., medication was given to Alexee consisting of sodium chloride ketorolac, um, on I'm on it. I still can't say it. On desk whatever for vomiting, and morphine sulfate. A saline lock and urinalysis were completed, but no specimen was received of HCG qual serum. A blood test checks if there is hormone called human chorionic gonadotropin in a person's blood, which is produced in the body during pregnancy. On January 27, 2023, at 12:28 a.m., lab tests were ordered, and such orders were entered at 12:30 a.m. Stop. And remember, this is coming from the defense, so this is their timeline. On January 27, 2023, at 12:28 a.m., a pregnancy serum test was ordered and collected at 12:30 a.m., received at 12:31 a.m., and reported at 12:51 a.m. by a call-out notice of results sent via computer to Chris Sanchez RN at AGH, and the doctor showing positive for pregnancy. The doctor and nurses admit that at 12:51 a.m. they received on their computers the notice of the results of the blood test showing that Alexee was pregnant. The medications which were being given via an IV were Flexeril, Tylenol, I think Ketorolac is a muscle relaxer, and then the Zofran for vomiting and morphine sulfate. And despite AGH, the doctor and nurses knowing at 12:51 Alexee was pregnant, was continued after they had noticed of the pregnancy. The medication, including morphine, was not stopped after the defendant knew at 0:51 hours Alexee was pregnant. Ketorolac, ondansetron, Flexeril, morphine all have warnings regarding use if the patient is pregnant. Was she having anxiety? Oh wait, no. She was given 2 muscle relaxers. Ketorolac, is that a muscle relaxer or anti-inflammatory? I don't remember. I would have to look it up. On January 27, 2023, Alexee said she needed to use the bathroom. A nurse removed the IV at 1:39 hours, and Alexee ran down the hall from her room to the public bathroom in the emergency room, holding her booty hole. The doctor and other healthcare providers knew or should have known for 48 minutes that Alexee was pregnant. On January 27, 2023, at 1:40 a.m., Alexee's mother checked on her as she had not come out of the bathroom and checked on her again at 1:49. On January 27, 2023, at 1:56 a.m., the emergency department staff at AGH checked on Alexee, and one of the nurses got the key to unlock the bathroom door, but before the door was unlocked, Alexee exited the bathroom. On January 27, 2023, at 1:57 a.m., Alexee exited the bathroom. No one assisted her as she walked back to the room she had been in. Alexee gave birth unassisted to a son while in the bathroom. On January 27, 2023, at 2:02 a.m., the doctor had already ordered an ultrasound to determine the status of the baby, and same was ordered before the doctors and nurses learned that Alexee had given birth. On January 27, 2023, at 2:38 a.m., the infant, Alexee Trevizo, was pronounced dead by the defendant doctor. The hospital allowed the police into the room of Alexee with lapel cameras on and asked questions of Alexee and her mother that are protected by HIPAA laws and by the New Mexico Constitution, law, rules, statute, and regulations. I'm pretty sure if she's asked a question and she responds, it doesn't go against HIPAA. But if it comes from medical, maybe it just goes against HIPAA. But her saying it herself, so what if they recorded her? Medical records, lab results, and videos of Alexee, her treatment of lack thereof at or by defendants without consent of Alexee, were released to the Artesian Police Department and later to the public. Subsequently, the videos without consent of Alexee, her attorneys, and or a court were disclosed to the media, District Attorney of Artesia Police Department, and have appeared on Facebook and other social media from numerous persons in the community, along with 3 major television networks. Go figure. They didn't say YouTube, y'all. And have shown such confidential and private information that did not come from Alexee or her attorneys and did not come with consent from Alexee or her attorneys. Everything we saw came directly from Alexee or the hospital. And you're going to deny. All right, girl, I see you. The hospital violated the HIPAA laws by allowing the taking of such videos and the release of protected health information. This crazy girl just giving birth, all silent like a psycho in the bathroom. Can you even imagine who doesn't scream? I know, and she's 19 and so small. And then her mom said that, she brought her to the hospital for the back pains because she had a hip defect or something going on her whole life that she got at birth. And she's been seeing medical profession for that. I think that's why she was given the morphine. So I don't know why, with even the hip problem too, wouldn't that be very painful? I was wondering, like, she legit made no sound because they had people at the door pretty much the whole time, which you'll see tomorrow. So can they get in trouble for that? For releasing everything to law enforcement before a chiropractor? I'm sorry, I'll hold on. This infuriates me because when I'm not live, she does not bark and no one comes in here. So I'm like frustrated. Okay. So does anybody know if the hospital violated HIPAA by allowing the taking of such videos and the release of protected health information, even though they were there for a death investigation? Yeah, this is the court documents for the lawsuit. From she's not only suing the hospital, she's suing the doctor, the nurses, and whatever companies were involved. Like, oh my gosh, what about the Medvac hospital? I know that's a different company than the hospital. I know the doctors usually contracted out by a different company. And then all the nurses, that was a good bit, as you will see. Um, we have interviews for all of them. And as far as the companies, I would think like would be the doctor and the medvac helicopter and stuff like that. Yeah, she's suing all of them. They did not allow the police in the room during treatment. They made the police leave the room during treatment. Body cam footage being leaked, but also if they hadn't been allowed in the room during treatment. Um, it wasn't during treatment. Like she wasn't being evaluated or anything. They were just waiting for the helicopter to come. They knew that she probably maybe didn't pass the placenta. Uh, whatever. Get out of here. They told. Hold on. When let me hold up. Back on my BS. Hold that thought. No, when she was telling her she needed to be flown to another hospital to be checked out, that video. Okay, that video. Um, when was told had to be flown to Roswell Hospital. Okay, I want to pay attention to that when we play the body cam footage tomorrow because I think. Okay, so did they violate HIPAA because it was on camera and filmed? Or did they violate HIPAA when they told the police verbally? Um, it was on camera. The hallway footage is definitely not a violation. That's a public area, not a treatment room. Law enforcement should have the rights to seize all evidence relating to murder. Well, she was what do you call it? In custody or whatever, like I don't know. I think maybe the doc. Oh my god, dude! The mom was in there, and then they made the mom leave because she was like, "I want to know. I want to know, Lexi, why you did this? Lexi, why you did that? Lexi, oh my god, can I go with her?" Anything that happened in the treatment room, even conversation with police, was covered by HIPAA. I don't know. You mean between the doctor and Alexei, or between mm, Alexei was in there. She's 19 years old and obviously consented to this because she was in there having a conversation. She could have said, "No, I don't want him in here." She's a whole grown 19. So would that violate HIPAA? No, Mike. No. No, don't let her go. The hospital doctor and hospital employees allowed the release of protected medical records and information, including reports and videos taken at the hospital. I never saw protected medical records. The hospital employees and doctors were aware of the pregnancy at 12:51 a.m., failed to inform Alexee that she was pregnant. Well, all right. And failed to take the necessary healthcare procedures and protocols for a pregnant woman who was at term pregnancy. The decedent died from the malpractice of the fetus. Alexee was 19 years old at the time, 5 foot in height, and her weight was 126 pounds. Here we go. Claims for relief. Count 1. Against defendant hospital. All previous paragraphs are incorporated herein by reference. Upon information and belief, Artesia Special Hospital District, Artesia General Hospital, AGH, is a body corporate and organized under the laws of the state of New Mexico as a special hospital district and is a party for purposes of these claims and is responsible for the actions and omissions of its employees, agents, and contractors. Upon information and belief, AGH is a local public body and governmental entity as those terms are defined in the New Mexico Tort Claims Act 1978. As such, AGH may sue or be sued in its name. AGH at all material times acted through its agents, servants, and employees and in furtherance of business of AGH for which it is liable under the New Mexico Tort Claims Act. At all material times, the agents, servants, and employees were acting within their scope of duties for AGH. The Artesia Special Hospital District was created by the legislature of the state of New Mexico. October 50! Replay, you're at the live play, my baby. They absolutely have the right to seize evidence to speak to her, but they don't have the right to be present for treatment or treatment discussion. Well, what about what I said about her being in there and her being able to say no, go away, and her allowing them to stay in the room? Defendant Hospital, through administration, policies, and procedures, was negligent in failing to exercise ordinary care, treatment, and diagnosis of Alexee Trevizo, thereby leading to the death of Alex Ray Fierro. Mike, do you think that she should be let go even though she killed her newborn baby, lied about it, and all this stuff? Like, do you think that? I don't know. I want to know your opinion because it might change in my opinion, you know. Okay. The Artesia Special Hospital District was created by the legislature of the state of New Mexico. Immunity is waived against the hospital and doctor under the New Mexico Tort Claims Act. Well, why are you suing them then? Oh, you're suing the district? Why are you suing the doctor? Oh, wave. My bad. Defendant Hospital breached its duties by failure to perform timely, complete, and accurate assessment of Alexee, failure to follow guidelines and practices that a woman of childbearing age complaining of low back pain and or abdominal pain is presumed pregnant until proven otherwise. Oh. I was wondering why it was being pushed back so far. Like she's going to be out on the street this whole time. I was just think there's so many other people doing way worse things, and it's basically her right that government should stay out of it. No. She committed murder. Do you think that Like, it was like kind of euthanasia in a way. Or, okay, here we go. It's her right to kill a newborn baby in a hospital bathroom. Oh, Mike. And I guess if someone kills one person, they should be let go because they're multiple killing people, and that's worse. Yeah, that's what I wanted to know. Um, Mike, if you considered it a murder or if you considered it like just getting rid of her baby, like as a way of couldn't have an abortion or miscarriage or whatever and just getting away. Because Mike, she was at the hospital. She could have gave the baby to them for nothing, no questions asked. And they would have taken care of the baby and found it a home and everything. She didn't have to kill it. But people say it's because she was afraid of her mother. But I don't care if she was in high school, a senior, she was 19 years old. I was 17 when I graduated. No, just when it comes to parents, I consider it her business. Mm, I don't know. It was actually a couple of hours old. No, it was minutes old. Someone else's baby murdered. Someone else's baby murder. So you know that women can't even get abortions anymore, right? So if the doctors don't even want to get rid of a pregnancy, what makes it okay for her to do it at full term? Full term, baby. Okay. I'll just take, I don't agree with you, but I'll accept that. Of course, I'll accept that. What am I going to say? No, you can't believe that. Come on now. At what age of the baby should the government be involved? Great question. Great, great question. Thank you, Lunar Phoenix, and it's nice to see you. Okay. Oh, wow. Failure to follow guidelines and practices that a woman of childbearing age who indicates she has to go to the bathroom should be examined first to make certain she is not pregnant and giving birth. All my years of being in childbearing age, I have never had someone examine me for pregnancy before I had to go to the bathroom. If anything, they let me go to the bathroom for urine, a urine test. Wait, what? No age. Like it was for hundreds of years. No age. Okay. Yeah, have fun. Yes, bruh. So they're saying that they should have examined her before she went to the bathroom. What if she went to the bathroom on them while examining her? Well, I mean, that's normal for like when you give birth and stuff. Okay, let's see now. Failure to follow guidelines and practices that a woman known by the hospital, doctor, and caregivers to be pregnant based on hospital and doctor tests should be examined before going to the bathroom, especially after muscle relaxants and morphine have been given via an IV to make certain she is not giving birth, as opposed to having to relieve herself. They didn't know she was pregnant, though, right? They didn't know she was pregnant until after she gave birth, right? Or right before, while she was in the bathroom. I'm telling you, her timeline has me totally like, okay. See, I'm not saying it's not wrong. It's just agreement with government. So you think she shouldn't go to prison because it's her business. You agree it's wrong, but your personal belief is that the government shouldn't be involved because it's her choice, is what you're saying. Okay. I don't agree, but I understand what you're saying. All right. So let's see. What number was I on? Okay. Failure to document accurate, factual, and complete information in the patient's permanent medical record regarding nursing care rendered. Huh? Failure to develop and implement an appropriate nursing plan of care for a 19-year-old female patient in the emergency department complaining of low back pain, abdominal pain, and necessity of going to the bathroom. Yeah, the dad, oh, I can't remember his name. Um totally acted like he didn't know nothing was going on. Like, yeah. It's immaculate conception and never had sex, but I had a baby and I didn't want it. Man, you irritate me, dude. I would have took your baby and taken care of it. Failures to provide standard nursing interventions to prevent the administration of medication or contraindicated medication to be administered to patients prior to an appropriate differential diagnosis. Devin. Um, yeah, and then they put the next of contact, emergency contact or whatever. The mom was like, "Put me," but they put the baby daddy. I don't think he's saying like the father. I think he's saying like it's the mother's choice to terminate the pregnancy without the government being involved, no matter if it's day one of the pregnancy or day 38, I mean, week one of the pregnancy or week 38 of the pregnancy, I think is what he's saying. Or both agree. Okay, I see. Failure to develop and implement an appropriate nursing plan of care for a person reporting with the symptoms of Alexee. Failure to have at the top of the list the possibility of pregnancy. Why do you think they did a blood pregnancy test? Failure to provide standard nursing interventions to prevent administration of medication or contraindicated medication. Am I saying that wrong? To a patient who is pregnant. Failure to hire medical providers who are qualified and adequately trained regarding diagnosis of pregnancy. Failure to hire medical providers who are qualified and adequately trained regarding the necessity for performance of pelvic exams and delivering babies. So he's trying to say that the doctor and the nurses were not qualified or adequately trained to give pelvic exams or delivering babies. How many babies do you think that emergency room has delivered? I'm sure that doctor has delivered babies before. Failure to have available necessary equipment to properly evaluate a woman of childbearing years to determine pregnancy and whether birth is imminent. Failure to implement and operate a medical record system to communicate patient status to the attending physician in a timely and proper manner. Failure to implement and operate a system in which the existence of a pregnancy is immediately provided to the attending physician. I think that they're just putting every single little thing they can just in case one of them hits it. You know what I mean? I don't know. It's 19 pages long. They got a lot to say. Okay. Failure to implement and operate a system in which the attending physician and nurses communicate timely and in a proper manner with the patient. Failure to ensure that nursing and medical staff timely and properly identify a pregnancy. Failure to implement a system that prevents violation of the HIPAA laws. Failure to implement and operate a system that assures privacy of its patients. A failure to implement and operate a system that requires written consent prior to sharing a patient's healthcare information. You're supposed to do that already before you see her. At least we have to. I do. Failure to implement and operate a system that prevents the release of HIPAA protected information outside of the hospital and those directly providing care to the patient. Aren't you given have to sign a paper and then given another one like that explains it? I know when they changed it, they were giving out paper like that. Um, Failure to have and supply necessary machinery and equipment to test for pregnancy, especially including component parts for the ultrasound testing and by other means that will be asserted through discovery during this litigation. The treatment, care, and management of Alexee by the hospital during the events described in this complaint were reckless, wanton, and performed with utter disregard for the safety and welfare of Alex Ray Fierro. Alex Ray Fierro's death was a direct and proximate result of the negligent acts and omissions of defendant hospital, doctor, and healthcare providers of defendant hospital. As a further direct and proximate result of the acts and omissions of the defendant hospital, plaintiff is entitled to wrongful death damages as provided by the laws of the state of New Mexico. The death of Alex Ray Fierro was due to negligence of defendant hospital, doctor, and healthcare providers without any contributing negligence on the part of Alex Ray Fierro. Mm. Let me see something. Super. Wait. Hold up. Okay. Okay. All right. My bad. Sorry, I got it now. I want to see what all they have left. If they had to read a shit ton. All right. Here we go. I need to get a Diet Coke. Bless her mom's heart for that fancy name. I hope they throw the me too. Yeah. And they had another girl that killed her baby by throwing it in the dumpster, and her name was Alexis, right? So, like, what is up with these names and throwing their babies away? Holy guacamole. Hold on one second, guys. This is a lot to read, and I need something to drink. One moment, please. All right, I'm back. Thank you for waiting. Okay. Count two, negligent hiring, credentialing, training, and supervision against defendant hospital. All previous paragraphs are incorporated herein by reference. The doctors, nurses, and staff who cared for Alexee were acting at all relevant times as employees, agents, apparent agents, ostensible agents, and/or contractors over which defendant hospital had sufficient control. We're on number 61. I will just tell you a little story real quick about someone suing the hospital. Exactly, Kaz. Yes, they are well off. That's why she's out on bond right now. She's been out on bond the whole time. The whole time. Let me see. I want to tell you the story. Hold on. You know, in the past, people had to do such things. But that's in the past, like back in the oldie days. The oldie days. Uh, Okay, so my nanny, I don't think very long. As soon as she got a bond, she was bonded out, I think. So my aunt, my dad's sister, who was my nanny, we were very, very close. She went to the emergency room with nausea and chest pains, I think back pains. Okay. She went to the ER. The doctor sent her home with ulcer medicine, and she didn't have ulcers. The next day, she woke up, fixed coffee, said she did feel good, went to the bathroom, had a massive heart attack, and died. Because they didn't keep her for evaluation the night she went in, um, and just diagnosed her with ulcers, and she didn't have ulcers. Um, they didn't do an EKG or anything with chest pains, nausea, and back pains. So because they failed to do those three things, my grandpa sued the hospital and the doctor because the doctor was contracted and won. So I don't know, but I think my two cousins, my nanny's two kids, split the money, because it was for them. But yeah, I think they got like $250,000. I don't. Yeah, I think they had to share 250,000 that they got from suing the hospital, and that was in Louisiana. Defendant hospital knew or should have known that hiring and or credentialing the doctors, nurses, and staff who cared for Alexee would create an unreasonable risk of injury to a group or class that includes decedent. Defendant hospital failed to use ordinary care in hiring and or credentialing the doctors, nurses, and staff who cared for Alexee. So basically, they're saying the whole hospital staff is not qualified to take care of a pregnant woman or someone in childbearing age or to even work in a hospital. Is that what they're trying to say? No doubt, Lunar Phoenix. You already know. I got a bill in the mail today from the heart doctor. They wait. They they told my grandma she had IBS when it was. Oh no. Who is Gary? Like I keep seeing you type that. I'm thinking you're talking about my mom's Gary. I know, Lunar, like they just put, yup. That's what I said too. They put every single little thing in there to try to, you know, try to get them to catch on to something. Bruh. Defendant hospital failed to use ordinary care in hiring and or credentialing the doctors. Okay, I said that. Wow. Wow. So on another story of lawsuit, my best friend Tony that has come into the channel, and I did a live on her husband who died from COVID alone in the hospital in ICU. Well, she didn't get his hospital records until like 6 months later, and then she couldn't take herself to look at them at that point in time. Well, when she did look at all of his records, it was over a year. And even though it was definitely medical malpractice, no doubt negligence, she still couldn't sue because it was over a year. And they did him wrong. You hear me? Holy shit, they did him wrong. The one hit I ever willingly took on my credit for 7 years was a hospital bill from being misdiagnosed and advised incorrectly. They cannot dock you if you have a medical bill in the credit bureau. Just saying. Oh, I'm like, the Gary that I know, and I'm like, I know back on my BS, dude. If I still have the life up, let me see. Oh my, yo, he was not taking care of it all, and I just don't even want to talk about it. All right, let me see this right here under my playlists. Um, Interviews. Whoops. Oh, that's for epilepsy. Um, Playlists. Lori Vello, trivia, true crime interviews. All right, I just want to see the nine. Okay, let's see. All right. Yep, here we go. Right here. Let me see if I could just skim through it and show you the pictures. I need to mute myself, and this is
So I don't know.
ah. Oh, this was before my intro, guys. This was way back when I first started. All right, let's see. I just want to scroll through and show y'all the pictures, unless y'all really want to hear the story. Let's see. Let me just do this real quick because it really is a horrific story. Like, and then if I tell you the whole shit of what Tony's been through, dude, she lost her husband, her brother, her mother in law, her mom, her dog in a matter of 6 months from COVID or uh, vaccine related illnesses. All five, well, not her dog, of course, all four in 6 months. Bruh, look, when she's telling me that, I was legit crying. Like, it happened right when I moved to here from Louisiana, and I couldn't be there for her. So all I could do was just cry for her. All right, let me see.
in the hospital.
We were told that somebody had, the big C word. He wasn't feeling good, and he was just like laying around. So I told him, let me give you a test. Well, it was read within just a few seconds. So yes, he had the big C word. He was fine Friday. He was fine Saturday. He just looked like he had the flu. Well, a few times, like in the middle of the night, 3, 4 o'clock in the morning, he would wake me up because I was sleeping on the recliner.
Thank you, Lunar Phoenix. I hope to see you next time.
And he was on the sofa.
This is like just a real quick story of what happened. It's not long.
And he would say, hey, I need help to go to the bathroom. So anyway, now y'all gotta understand, I'm 4'11", my husband was 6 foot, and I would basically have to carry him on my back. And then we were like, oh, just go get the rolling chair. It'll be much, much easier. So we ended up doing that. Well, that Sunday afternoon, I had to call the ambulance because his oxygen level actually got down to 53. And he had no choice but to go to the hospital. Well, once he got there, I guess with all the tests and everything, he didn't call me until that night. And he would call me and tell me everything that was going on. He didn't tell me a few things. I guess he didn't want me to worry. They ended up having to do something that went in the jugular, I guess like a PICC line. I guess that's what it's called. I don't know. Then he had to do his line for dialysis. So he had 2 lines going into his chest. Then I'm confused on what I want to say, Christy. Anyway, they started him on dialysis, but they stated that his kidneys wasn't flushing out what they should. And by the time he got to, this was July 20th, it stated he went in the hospital with a bed sore on his butt, and he didn't. He had a cyst removed on his butt crack, and he had portions of his butt crack at his top, and then he had a big score, and then he had the rest of his butt crack. They stated he went in the hospital with a bed sore, that was the first lie we seen. Because that day, as me being a wife and helping my husband because he couldn't do what he wanted to do, I had to clean his ass. Let's just put it that way. I had to clean his ass. And I had to help him get dressed, socks, shoes, shirt, clean drawers, all, the 9 yards. And so I know he didn't have any other marks on his body whatsoever. So they stated he went in with a bed sore, which was the first lie. But they never seen it until July 26th. That's when they actually documented, they actually noticed it. So if they say everything on his skin was fine, how did they not see a bed sore? So the 26th is the first time they stated they seen the bed sore. He didn't tell me about it, what have you, whatever. Well, I'm not a good storyteller. They told me everything. They had to get permission to do a few tests where they had to put him to sleep. So they called and gave permission. They updated me at that point every day because between me and his family, we'd call 5 or 6 times a day just to check on him. And then we would call him and we would talk to the nurses at the same time. On August 5th, they called me saying, hey, we need to put him on a vent because he's just where he doesn't sleep, that we need his body to heal so he can get better and go home. Now, remember, as long as he's awake, I'm hearing all positive things, all things as he's not going to be on the vent long. All his numbers are great. We're going to be moving him upstairs and they'll wean him off upstairs of the vent, blah, blah, blah. We have a place that's called LTAC, which is like a rehabilitation center. They was going to send him to, but he just had to be more stable on the vent. Anyway, so he went on the vent. Once he went on the vent, we were really never told anything whatsoever. Not this time when he hadn't in July 20th of 21, due to the outbreak of the Big C, he wasn't allowed to go to the hospital. So we would have to FaceTime him, call the nurses. And up to the time he went on the vent, the doctors would call me almost every night and say, hey, this is what's going on, blah, blah, blah. So it was a very good communication then. Well, once he got on the vent, they never really...
Mind you, this is the same hospital that did it to my nanny.
They told me anything, even though I would ask, they would go around the bush. The first lie they told me is, now remember, I can't go to the hospital, is they gave me a pamphlet in reference to some kind of support. No, that was the first lie. The second lie is that he actually had septic shock and staph. Was I ever told that? Absolutely not. Because I would be like, why? Where did he get it from? All this good stuff. They never told me he went from stage 3 kidney to stage 5 kidney disease, which stage 5 is like end of life. They never told me that. Then, and I'm finding all this out by reading his medical records. And the reason I actually started going through his medical records, the first time I opened them to go through them, was September 27th. And the only reason why I know it's September 27th is because of the fact it was 1 month, 13 months and 7 days that he passed. And when I tell you the pictures I've seen in the medical records, because I did get
13 months and 7 days, right? The statute of limitations is 12 months. So she was a month and 7 days too late.
All his 13,907 pages on December 14th of 21, but mentally, I couldn't look at him. Okay. Just mentally, I couldn't, because by the time I got him, August 20th, he died. October 9th, my mom died. November 14th, one of my best friend's dads died. That I've been friends with her since Brownies, and hello, I'm 49. January 22nd, my dog, just like Penelope, is like the princess of the house. Yes, my dog was a mini pin, and she was the princess of the house. My daughter, I guess, was the second.
She had a little skinny min pin, y'all. It was so cute. Penelope's like 20 times the size of the dog she had.
Princess of the house, but my dog, she was like my support system. So January 22nd, she passed.
If you're just coming in, this is my best friend telling the story of medical malpractice with her husband during COVID.
And then February 17th, my mother-in-law, which is my husband's mom, passed away. And I would consider that malpractice too, because they found out she was allergic to Entresto, and a new doctor came who wasn't even a cardiologist and started giving her Entresto again. And not too long after that, she ended up passing away. Anyway, February 17th, my mother-in-law passed. And I would say I gave it, a month or two. I started feeling a little better mentally. Then May 4th,
her brother
passed.
All those people, her mom, her
they just
dog,
put me back in that spiral going down.
Her mom, her mother-in-law, her brother, her dog, and her best friend's parent. I don't remember which one. And this is where she starts crying. And I cannot take it when she cries. And I cannot take it when she's hurt, because she is one of the best people in the whole entire world. She will give at least me her last dollar, the shirt off her back. Like, she is the only one. There's her and another that are the only two people in my life, period, that has never, ever judged me for being on drugs or being with my ex like everyone else did. And I absolutely love her to death.
Yeah. So now you got to remember too, we just went through a high category 4 hurricane that I was living with.
That's Hurricane Ida, the one that we went through right before I moved here.
Like walls, because the hurricane messed up everything. And actually, I'm just finished getting my home fixed within the last month and a half. So when I finally started looking at it, 13 months and 7 days after he passed away in the state of Louisiana, you can't file a malpractice suit or a negligence suit after 12 months. Never knew that. Absolutely never knew that until I saw the pictures, which Christy does have the pictures. I don't know if anybody would want to see them, but they are disgusting. So if you don't have a good stomach, I wouldn't want to see them. So they didn't tell me that. They told me on the 5th when they put him on the vent that was to just to rest. Now, you have to understand, we had a chart we can go to online as long as he was in the hospital, and nothing was documented this way. Nothing. Absolutely nothing. So I never seen it. I was never told anything negative. Once I got the paperwork, it stated the first day he was there on the 20th, July 20th, that he had a high mortality rate. Was never, ever told that. By going through the paperwork today, again, I found out a few more things, that if you're going into liver failure, you shouldn't be getting a lot of Tylenol. And they were giving him 3,000 milligrams, which you shouldn't be doing that, because taking so much Tylenol can give you liver failure. Then, as you go through the medical records that I have them on my computer from my desk, that my husband died August 20th of 21 at 9:21 in the morning. They were still
He died August 20th. The hurricane hit August 29th.
Chorton after 1 o'clock. They seen him alert, watching TV, just all kind of different stuff that they shouldn't even been charged because he wasn't alive. He wasn't even at the hospital by.
Yeah, listen to this. He was dead, and they were charting that he was alive and well. Let me back it up just a minute. Let's see. Listen to this, you guys.
21 at 9:21 in the morning. They were still charting after 1 o'clock. They seen him alert, watching TV, just all kind of different stuff that they shouldn't even been charged because he wasn't alive. He wasn't even at the hospital by noon because they had already picked him up. So, yeah.
They already picked
I
up
don't
the
even remember what else
body.
I want to say. Christy, you're going to have to help me because I told you everything and I'm just lost.
Tony, I don't remember you telling me the nurse.
Did she report the people who did the charting to the... I'm sure she did. I'm not sure. Like I just told you, I don't remember a lot of the stuff.
Since we're charting what he was doing after
Yeah,
he already passed away.
They were charting all this stuff after he passed away. The nice, lovely thing we had, it was just about the same doctors the whole, I want to say, 27 days into the process. We got a new doctor on the 27th.
I'll tell her.
And he initially called me and he stated, you need to decide what you're going to do with your husband, if you're going to keep him on the vent, or can we just take him off the vent and let, the natural process happen? I'm like, no, y'all the ones that, wanted to put him on the vent so he can relax and chill out in his body, heal, blah, 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 blah. So no, me as a family, it wasn't just my decision because I called, his mom was still alive at the time. I called his mom and his sisters and, we decided as a family, to put him on the vent, that they the ones that recommended it because he would not sleep. Well, on the 17th, this doctor called and asked me that. And I told him, us as a family, we're going to keep him on the vent. I've never been told anything negative to this point. So just remember and remember, I don't think I stated it, August 18th was his birthday. On the 19th, they never told me he had 3 code blues. So, and if nobody knows what a code blue is, in other words, he died 3 times and they had to do CPR on him. They never told anybody, never told one person. And we had 3 people he can call. And the point about it is between his mama and his sisters.
I just messaged her on Facebook and asked her if she wasn't busy to come in here. They didn't tell her anything, you guys.
Call and check on him with the nurses. We would call to see when they went in the room because it was, they have like a vape or something where as long as the room is closed, it sucks out all the illnesses and whatever. Then they never once told us. We would call them and they would say, give me 15 minutes. I'm going in the room. And that way we can call him on FaceTime. That way he knew people was there with him. He couldn't respond, but we could talk to him. So we did that multiple times a day. They not once told us he had all these issues. Well, this doctor called back on the 19th telling me I was a selfish person because I was just letting him die and him and his nurses had to watch it. I'm like, and if Christy's got a mouth. I'm from Louisiana, so I'm a loud mouth. I don't hold my tongue, but I couldn't say anything. I was very dumbfounded to the situation. So we didn't know anything negative, nothing, except his body was going to be rest. Now you can understand all these things I found out going through his medical records. My sister-in-law, who actually works at a lawyer's office, but it's not for this type of stuff. I called her because she's more of a bee than I am. She called them and told the nurses at 7 o'clock on the 20th, August 20th, that if this doctor ever calls me and talks to me like this again, that they will have trouble in the hands. So that morning, when he called me at like 9:18, I think it was in the morning, he's like, well, I can't hear her calling without zero. He called me right before 9:20, 9:18, 9:17, what have you, whatever. Saying, ma'am, yes, ma'am, this is what's going on. He's coding. We're going to need to do CPR. Do you give us permission? Well, yeah, do CPR. You do what you got to do to save my husband. Oh, we might break a few ribs. And I told the doctor, and your fucking point. Ribs heal on their own. He's already had multiple CPRs other heart attacks. So I can't file malpractice. I can't file negligence. I can't do anything. So I called the medical board,
There
the
you go.
Louisiana State Medical Board, and they would have to investigate it. I called
Is that what you were talking about back on IBS? That
the patient advocate and told her everything that was going on. And she
Welcome
said she would
back.
send it to her higher ups. Well, I'm a stupid person right now. I have very bad rage, and that's not me. Where to the point one day I was picking up my daughter from school, and I didn't see a car coming because like we get out in a subdivision because she doesn't go to regular school. I didn't see a car coming, and my kids in my life. And the lady flipped me off, not with one finger, but with two. So when I got to the stop sign, me as being the BIM, because I was raging, got out and was being a big old Karen, which I'm not that type of person. Yeah. Anyway,
her kids are
they
her life.
actually
She wouldn't let anyone babysit her kids or anyone take her kids like to a parade or the skating ring or the bowling alley without her or her husband. Yeah. But now they're grown. We've been really, really good friends for like 19 years. When she was found out she was pregnant with her son.
sent me a letter yesterday, but my mail passed at like 6 o'clock. So all of these places close at like 4 at the hospitals and stuff. So you can't talk to them. But Mr. John, the vice chief of staff at this hospital, lovely Terrebonne General, it just said, thank you for notifying Terrebonne General Health Systems with the concerns you had regarding your husband's CCU state. Your concerns will be reviewed following the appropriate medical staff guidelines. Although the outcomes are kept confidential and cannot be shared with you, our process shall require a thorough review with process improvements and opportunities.
Mm-mm.
So I called the lady today. I said, I guess y'all don't know what kind of B I am, because if I would have got this when y'all were open yesterday, I would have been at the hospital, because they cannot keep stuff from me. They can't. How can they basically, and I understand my husband was sick no matter what, but it's like, we considered as he murdered my husband, and he got away with it. And the multiple lawyers I spoke with between Houston to New York to New Orleans, because I wasn't going to get a lawyer from down here because there's too much fraternization between the lovely Terrebonne General that's made out of gold and the lawyers around here. There's too much fraternization.
My grandpa got an attorney from New Orleans.
Anyway, nobody would take it, number one, because, well, the only reason why is because it was over 12 months, period. So they got to murder him. And what's really sad, I have an 18-year-old, I have a 14-year-old, I have a 30-year-old stepdaughter, and 2 grandbabies from my stepdaughter. How is my son, he's been sick for the last 6 weeks, and we don't know why. And I'm like, let's go to the emergency room. Maybe something's going on. Maybe you have heart issues like your daddy. I don't know. And I said, well, where you want to go? Because there's 4 hospitals that's basically local. He's like, Mom, you can't bring me to Terrebonne General because they're going to end up killing me. Just like they did my daddy. Killed me. I couldn't function after that. I mean, it's just absolutely horrible. And there's nothing that can be done. So that's my nice, lovely story. So I basically have my kids and my sister. That's my only support system, and my kids shouldn't be my support system. My twin, I talk to her a lot, even though Christy knows. We just don't get along. But
I was just about to say that.
she's been my main support system. So yeah, that's my story. We consider it as a family, my side and his side, the family, that they murdered him. And there's nothing we can do because they basically put him in liver failure with all the extra medicine he was getting that he shouldn't have got. They just didn't tell us anything. And if my biggest thing is, if we would have been more prepared, it would have been something totally different. But remember, he was in the hospital 30 days. On the 27th day that evening, we found out he wasn't doing good. They even talked about, like I said, putting him on a different floor to wean him off. They was going to move him to LTAC, which is a rehabilitation center. But once he was put on the vent and he was on dialysis, they stated he couldn't go to LTAC because they couldn't do the vent or the dialysis, that they were going to move him to Fieldcrest. I don't know how many people's from New Orleans, but Fieldcrest is known for multiple deaths in this nursing home. And I told him, I'm so sorry, you will not be sending my husband to Fieldcrest. We can just put him in my living room and we'll do what we have to do. I do have friends that does in-home dialysis, and we'll just take care of him how we need to take care of him. And they refused it. They 100% refused it. So if he would have got better, they would have sent him to Fieldcrest, basically to die. That's how everybody thinks about it. The hospital has 100% did our family wrong. And Christy says I'm a strong person. I'm not. It's a good, what they call that? Facade? Is that the word I'm looking for? I put on a good face for everybody. So yeah, that's basically my story.
Did you talk about the transplant that he needed? I don't know if you had told that or whatever.
Well, I think it was 2019. They wanted him to go see Dr. Ventura at Oshna's New Orleans on Jefferson. And they actually, brought us in the bag, had us to sign papers, like a living will, blah, 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 blah. Because they wanted to do a transplant on him. And they stated, we have to run your blood work. If you come up with any nicotine in it, we wouldn't be able to do it. So yeah, he was a smoker. So they had nicotine in his system, so he couldn't get it done. Well, they wanted to do LVAD. I don't know if anybody knows what that is, where they attach this device at the bottom of your heart, and you have
So much. Thank you so much, Aussie True Crime. I really appreciate that. Oh my gosh, thank you. Oh dang.
they do like a hole in the stomach, not just stomach, but on the side, whatever. And you have to attach yourself to a battery 24 hours a day. You get like 4 batteries, and you don't have like blood pressure. You don't have, it's like your machine. But he told them no because of the fact he wasn't going to live like that. And that was years ago, years and years ago. And then when he got on this study with the CMC machine where it was doing therapy on his heart, his infraction rate on his heart was really, really good, well, better than it was. His kidneys had a better function. Even the nephrologist never told us at one point he got to stage 4 severe. Never. I actually had to go get all the paperwork from not only Terrible in General, but I went to his nephrologist, both his cardiologists, his primary care, everything. And it's like they trying to cover it up because I don't know how to think about it anymore. So, what else, Christy? Because I don't.
You mentioned that your daughter doesn't go to normal. You guys see it?
All right, these are the pictures, guys. I'm just gonna show you.
It's his backside. To the left where you see the blackness that's like all bubbly, that was the top of his butt crack. And then you see like maybe the inch or so that's underneath it. That was a score from a cyst removal before he was a teenager. So that's just a score that's going across his butt. Where that black round circle thing is, that's where the bed sore started. That's my opinion. I don't have MD behind my name, but it's obviously that's where it started at because it wasn't clean. And remember, at this point, he has been on a bed and a big blow-up mattress that's supposed to take the pressure off of pressure points. They were supposed to be cleaning him once an hour and turning him every 2 hours. And they stated, now this one is just to show how wide it is. To the left is where that circle is, and then where the blackness started underneath the rest of his butt crack. This is another, just a different pose of his butt crack. And you can still see where the blackness is more above his butt. And you can see the darkness underneath his butt. The white has nothing to do with it. That's between his legs. I'm assuming it's gauze because on the underside of his leg, you can see the gauze.
And the indentions on his body.
Oh, yeah. I call him, yeah, we down here, we call that grill marks. If you sleep so in different positions, you wake up and you got the sheet or your handprint on your face. We call it grill marks. So if you can see all those different swirls on his back, that's grill marks. So how long you got to stay like that before you get grill marks? This is another picture of his butt, where his skin was actually starting to fall off. No, I couldn't go in the hospital because it was in the big C. And nobody was allowed in the hospital unless you were admitted or going through the ER. But this is a different picture. This is his left foot and his left back of his ankle, which if he was on a blow-up bed that everything was off of pressure points, how did he get this bed sore behind his ankle? No idea. Didn't know about it. He didn't have this when he left home. And remember, he was only gone for 30 days.
Hey,
This is his
Queen
mouth.
Olive.
And me, as just a human being, he would have a mark on his face because he was on the vent. I understand this. I expected this. So this one doesn't bother me because he's on a vent. He's got a tube. I guess that's the feeding tube on that side. And I expected it because he was on it for 2 weeks, 15 days. And this is underneath his butt on the back of your thigh where he was getting bed sores. And look at the grill marks. So he was there a long period of time. Is that a different? No, that's the same picture.
Okay.
Okay. And now you have to understand too that with all, and yeah, that's what we were thinking, but they stated they had him on this blow up bed from the time he got there. That actually wasn't on his ankles, it went past his feet. They could have had a different one, but that's another 100% lie because I have videos from him, that one videos he was taking. He was a typical man. He seen, little young girls in tight ass pants. So he was videotaping them. As long as he didn't touch, I didn't care. That's what kind of relationship we have. You want to look, you can look, just don't touch. Because I'll cut it off, Anyway. He has multiple videos. He's not on any type of pressure point system. Regular bed, no compression socks on, nothing. He was still in his right mind because when they had him on the BiPAP, he sent me pictures with the BiPAP on his face stating, Luke, I am your father from Star Wars. So he still had his personality. Yes, they said that they were to go clean his wounds every hour. I guess because it was bad. It was stage 3. And turn him every 2 hours, which the nurses have to document everything. And after that was put in there are some nurses that went in there before an hour was up, before the 2 hours were up. Some nurses didn't go in there for 3. The longest one I've seen that didn't go in there was for 7 hours. So how can you do your job if you're not going in there for 7 hours checking on them? And yet again, this was not in his medical records that we could see on the app for the hospital, because as they supposed to be documenting stuff, this wasn't something I could pull up. And yet to look through his medical records, the day he passed away, he died at 9:21. By 10 o'clock, his medical record app was shut down. I could not see it whatsoever. So that was another reason for me going and get the medical records. But yet again, we couldn't get them right away because we had just had a Category 4 hurricane. So yes, he did have staph. He did have septic shock. On the 19th, like I said, he had, on his death certificate, it states, the first one, because you have different lines on your death certificate, the first one states respiratory failure. The second one has the big C on it, and that's it. But in the medical records, it stated he passed from septic shock also. So why was that not put on the death certificate? I don't know. It's like he was their guinea pig, Yeah, but they stated he had multi-organ failure and he was fine until his liver failed. And they said, yes, the heart issues, the lung issues, and the kidney issues made his liver fail. His liver functions were good, very good, until they started giving him 3,000 milligrams of Tylenol. So if it's possible for him to go through liver failure after every other organ supposedly is failing.
With stage 3 kidney disease, they won't give my mama anything. They won't let her take anything for pain. Not even tramadol anymore.
Why would they give him 3,000 milligrams of Tylenol? Why? Obviously, he wasn't in pain because he was sleeping, because they put him to sleep. He had a stage 5. Never was in his medical records I can see. I found out on the medical records on the disc I went get. And actually, when he passed away, he didn't have stage 5 kidney disease. It was back at 4. So you tell me, when he passed away, he had a good infraction rate of his heart. He was in stage 4 kidney disease. And then his liver failed. So why? Why would you give somebody Tylenol who's not in pain, obviously, because he's in a medically induced coma because he's doing all that. Yes, he was diabetic. And it was uncontrollable because he didn't really eat and he drank Coke. The insulin he would take, we would actually have to get from the manufacturer. Well, that was a butchered word, because they didn't sell it at pharmacies. So they would send us, I want to say 2 or 3 months at a time. And thank God for patient assistance through the manufacturer, because if not, it would have been, I want to say it was over $7,000 for the insulin for 3 months. And patient assistance through the manufacturer.
Oh my God, y'all, talking about that. My dad said that the heart medication or whatever the doctor put him on, maybe it's blood pressure, I don't know, was $3,000 a month. The insurance didn't pay for it. 3,000. I said, Dad, go tell the doctor to give you something else. Come on now.
Paid for it 100%. Thank you, Jesus. Yeah, but he was diabetic. He didn't smoke. He quit smoking like it was 2 years before he passed away. He didn't drink. On occasion, he would drink, just like me. If I drink once or twice a year, it's a lot. But he would drink a beer, like after he cut grass on a ride.
Okay, that's pretty much her story. But yeah, I wanted to share that with you guys. Oh no, I closed it. All right, here we go back to the document. So the next year, her son graduated, right? Oh, wait, I'll pass it up. And for his graduation picture, at the graduation, there's a picture of Tony and him, right? And on the other side, you can see like a fogginess, not clear, on the rose that he was holding in his hand. And I said, Tony, Hanson was there. Do you see this? That's Hanson. It was. I don't care if you believe me or not, but it was. All right, let's see where we were. All right, lab results, television. Oh yeah, we are down here. We're on count 2. Hello, Christy. All right, let's see where we were now. All right, here we go, right here. Hey, Joe. It's so good to see you. I've been missing you, but I've been going live earlier, and I understand. But I did a live yesterday about y'all mushroom killer. Okay. Defendant hospital, through its agents and employees, were required to use the ordinary standard of care a reasonably prudent hospital would use in hiring, training, supervising, and granting privileges to the doctor as a professional healthcare provider. The defendant hospital, through its agents and employees, willfully, recklessly, or negligently provided Alexee inadequate medical services and violated the rules of the standard of care through one or more acts or omissions, including the following: choosing to allow unqualified and inappropriately trained healthcare professionals to practice in its facilities, choosing not to provide or require adequate training of agents and or employees regarding pregnancy, choosing not to establish or enforce adequate written procedures and guidelines for timely and proper recognition of pregnancy. This is outrageous. Choosing not to establish or enforce adequate written procedures and guidelines for timely and proper communication between the laboratory and the doctors and nurses. Choosing not to establish or enforce adequate written procedures and guidelines for communication between the doctor and nurses with the patient in a timely and proper manner. Choosing not to have adequate written procedures and guidelines for recognition of pregnancy and timely and proper delivery of a baby. I'm pretty sure that this doctor has never in her life ever delivered a baby. Yes, the doctors and the nurses. Yep. They're suing I think it's it's 2 counts, but it's like the hospital, the doctor, the nurses, and then the companies. Choosing not to establish and enforce adequate written procedures regarding HIPAA violations. Choosing not to establish and enforce adequate written procedures for privacy violations. Choosing not to have adequate written procedures and guidelines regarding privacy and protection of HIPAA laws, HIPAA information. But I still want to know if it's a investigation of a death, does that even matter anymore? Like, does the HIPAA, like, I don't know. I don't know if that would still be, he knows a lot of stuff. He aggravating. Okay, choosing to not have adequate skilled staff and equipment to provide competent care for its patients. Choosing not to adequately supervise employees and agents practicing or working at the hospital. Damn, they got all these issues, and not one person they've ever cared for, well, not every person or every other person has sued them, but they darn well are a crappy hospital that don't know what they're doing. Yeah, I don't know why the doctors immune to prosecution. They find actual facts that the doc screwed up. They're saying that because they gave her morphine, that it's what killed the baby. Like the baby was dead before she gave birth, is what they're trying to say due to the doctors. Choosing not to adequately supervise employees and agencies practicing or working at the hospital. Choosing not to hire, credential, or grant privileges only to well qualified physicians in the emergency department. Choosing not to provide or require adequate training regarding thorough and accurate note taking, dictation, and making the medical record. Choosing not to provide or require adequate training regarding communication between nursing staff, laboratory staff, and doctors. Choosing not to establish or enforce policies and procedures regarding obtaining testing immediately and prior to the administration of medications. Choosing not to establish or enforce policies and procedures regarding following the professional warnings for administration of dosage and types of medication to the patient, and by other means ascertained through discovery during this litigation. Defendant hospital further failed to use ordinary care in training and supervising the doctors, nurses, and staff who cared for Alexee. Obviously, they're acting up. I don't know. If the doctors, nurses, and staff who cared for Alexee had been properly trained and supervised, they would not have, among other things, negligently failed to provide adequate nursing interventions to prevent the death of Alex Fierro, negligently failed to provide adequate nursing interventions to prevent the death of Alex, negligently failed to provide adequate medical services to prevent medication over medication or contraindication medication for a pregnant female, failure to adequately and timely require testing of a female patient 19 years of age reporting with lower back pain, abdominal pain, and feeling like she needed to go to the bathroom. Failure to provide adequate doctors and nursing staff with the ability and training to recognize pregnancy, perform objective testing for pregnancy, and obtain immediate testing for pregnancy, and failure to timely and properly diagnose pregnancy. You can't, well, she was wearing loose clothes that day, but come on now. She had a whole 9-month-old belly. Get out of here. Failure to timely and appropriately communicate between the laboratory, nurses, staff, and the attending doctor the results of the pregnancy test in a manner intended to immediately notify such persons. Failure to provide adequate medical intervention to ensure timely and proper pain assessment, mental status assessment, objective hands-on examinations, and communications of same, including adequate documentation and in other matters which will be made known through discovery. I feel oh, is that the Maya trial? I've never heard anything about the case and I haven't watched anything. I've just like, since the case started, I just heard bits and pieces. Defendant hospital's negligence in hiring, credentialing, training, and supervising the doctors, nurses, and staff who cared for Alexee was a direct proximate cause of Alex Ray Fierro's ultimate death. The actions, failures, and omissions were reckless, wanton, and with utter disregard for the welfare and safety of Alex Fierro. 4 more to go. Court, court. Oh yeah, listen to me. Count 3: negligence through respondent superior and vicarious liability against defendant hospital. I don't know what that R is, y'all. All previous paragraphs are incorporated herein by reference. At all times relevant herein, the doctors, nurses, and staff of defendant hospital were acting within the course and scope of their employment with defendant, when through the acts and omissions outlined in the preceding paragraphs, they failed to use ordinary care in providing treatment that a reasonable and prudent healthcare provider would have provided under the same or similar circumstances. At all relevant times herein, the doctors, nurses, and staff were acting within the course and scope of their employment with defendant hospital when, through the acts and omissions outlined in the preceding paragraphs, they failed to meet the standard of care that a reasonable and prudent healthcare provider would have provided under the same or similar circumstances. They're ridiculous. Oh my God, you should each day more and more comes out the last day of evidence. The court learned the hospital may have misled the jury. Oh, what? It's long though. It's a long trial, isn't it? The management or lack of management of Alexee's medical condition was reckless, wanton, and performed with utter disregard for Alexee's safety and welfare and for the safety and welfare of Alex Fierro. As a direct and proximate result of the negligent acts and omissions of defendant hospital, through the doctors, nurses, and staff who cared for Alexee, over whom defendant hospital had sufficient control, Alex Fierro died. As a further direct and proximate result of the negligent acts and omissions of defendant hospital, through the doctors, nurses, and staff who cared for Alexee, over whom defendant hospital had sufficient control, Alex Fierro is entitled to statutory wrongful death damages. This is the second one I'm reading, and it's a lot of pages, so please bear with me. The death of Alex Ray Fierro was due to the negligence of defendant hospital without any contributing negligence on the part of Alex Ray Fierro. John Doe's A through F and John Doe Company's G through K are or may be included in the performance actions and omissions and failures set forth above. Count 4 against Dr. All previous paragraphs are incorporated herein by reference. Defendant Vasquez initially, willfully, recklessly, and negligently provided inadequate medical services, resulting in the death of Alex Ray Fierro in violation of the standard of care for a hospitalist in New Mexico by committing one or more of the following acts and omissions: choosing not to be in the proper physical, mental, and emotional condition to perform medical services, choosing to not have adequate training and knowledge of the medications and treatments to be utilized to timely and properly treat Alexee. Nonetheless, she attempted to perform them anyway. Wow. choosing not to explain to Alexee her true condition, and as Alexee continued to exhibit symptoms of pregnancy, deliberately, intentionally, willfully, wantonly, recklessly, and with utter disregard, did not explain the truth to Alexee in a timely manner. Choosing not to explain the true nature of Alexee's condition to Alexee so that she could make an informed decision about her future care. Choosing not to timely, properly, and immediately become aware of testing results communicated by the lab. Providing services to Alexee without the requisite training, skill, knowledge, experience, and expertise. Improperly diagnosing and treating Alexee with medications prior to appropriate, timely, and proper testing and screening. Improperly treating Alexee with incorrect medications at inappropriate intervals and administration of contraindicated medications, and failing to monitor, assess, and stay advised of Alexee's true condition. What did she do then? Nothing? Okay. Inability to diagnose or choosing to ignore the differential diagnosis of pregnancy. Choosing not to have immediate testing performed to determine the true reason for Alexee's condition. Choosing not to make sure the nurses performed assessments at appropriate intervals. Choosing to allow HIPAA violations regarding the medical condition of Alexee and decedent. Choosing to fail to provide Alexee with her privacy rights, and choosing to blame the death of Alex Raffiero upon others rather than taking responsibility for her failures and omissions. Wow. Just wow. The intentional, willful, reckless, and negligent acts and or omissions of Dr. Vargas were a direct and proximate cause of the death of Alex Raffiero. Exactly. Damages against defendants. All previous paragraphs are incorporated herein by reference. As a direct and proximate result of the acts and omissions of the defendants described above, Alex Raffiero died. As such, plaintiff seeks damages, including the wrongful death damages provided under statutory law in the state of New Mexico, prejudgment interest, post-judgment interest, and plaintiff's costs of suit, as allowed by law, and such other and further relief as this court deems just and proper in the premises. Punitive damages against defendants. Our previous paragraphs are incorporated herein by reference. Defendants' acts and omissions complained of in the preceding paragraphs are believed to be of an egregious nature in reckless, wanton, and total disregard to the rights and safety of Alex Fierro. Among others, these intentional, malicious, willful, reckless, and or wanton acts and omission of the defendants, either singularly in combination or based on the cumulative conduct of employees of defendants, were a cause of Alex Fierro's death. As such, in addition to actual damages ascertained and demonstrated in this matter, punitive damages are required to punish and deter these types of acts and omissions in the future. Punitive damages should be assessed jointly and severally. Wherefore, plaintiff prays for judgment against defendants jointly and severally for wrongful death damages sufficient to fully compensate plaintiff for the injuries and damages described herein, for survivorship claims, for loss of consortium claims, for intentional infliction of emotional distress, post-judgment interest, pre-judgment interest, plaintiff's cost of suit as allowed by judge, and for punitive damages and for such other relief to which plaintiff may be entitled in the premises. Damn. And this is her attorney, Gary C. Mitchell, and Damon Richards, Ferguson, and Booth is, I think, well, isn't that who is Arthur Bustos? Nope, that's not him. Okay. So that, my friends, is what Alexee is saying happened and why they're suing the hospital. I know, I know, I know. But they're saying that the doctors and nurses killed the baby in the womb. Then she went into labor in the bathroom and she felt like she was having a bowel movement. And the baby was born deceased. And she was scared and didn't know what to do with it. So she threw it away. That's her story. Yes, all of it. From the diagnosis, the testing, everything. Till 2%. I need to charge my Fitbit. I'm tired of it beeping at me. All right, guys. So, what do you think about that? Let me see. Who should I watch for it? Hold on. The first 2 days are a bit tedious, and day 7 and 8 drag a bit, but I promise you, you'll be on the edge of your seat. Really? Just had day 24. 24? Okay, but who are you watching? Oh, wait. Okay, hold on. I missed it. Law and Lumber. I've never heard of him. Law and Lumber. No. No, they didn't, but that's what her lawyers are trying to say. They can't take accountability for it. She threw her baby away because she didn't want it. But yet the baby's ashes are sitting in her living room as she sits in her living room going to college. And I'm going to check him out. Let me see. Law and Lumber. All right, I'm 7 right now. Got it. Oh, he's a little cutie pie. What's up now? All right. Got it. Thank you for that because I didn't know. I've never heard of him before. I don't know. Haha. Oh, cool. We said he's a cutie at the same time. I don't know if I believe that. So when they went into the bathroom, why did and saw the blood, they didn't even know that she had the baby or that she was even whatever. With the poop? Are you talking about with the dog poop? I don't know. But Back on My BS does cover this story, so she probably knows more than I do. Or, different things than I do. Yeah, I don't think they knew. Oh, okay. I was like the dog poop or the person poop, whatever they said it was. Well, they did once she came out the bathroom and they saw all the blood in the bathroom. They didn't know if she had a miscarriage or if she hurt herself or what happened. So that's when they were going in to examine her to see, make sure she didn't hurt herself and such. And that's when housekeeping went in and found the baby. And the doctor and the nurses left to go see about the baby. And when they came back in, that's when they told her that they found the baby. Look, don't even ask me how she cut the umbilical cord, okay? Some people are saying she chewed it. Gross. Some people say she pulled it apart. Don't know how that's possible. But hey, she had a baby at 19 in a hospital bathroom without making any sounds. So, I wouldn't put it past her. I don't know. She's a manipulator. She's a piece of shit. There was an order for her and her boyfriend to stay apart from each other to prevent any more pregnancies happening with him. And they went to court because she was going to college on Zoom and she had the order to stay away from him. But they brought it to court and they won, and she was able to go to college in person and be with her boyfriend. Now her trial's not till August 2024. So guess what? She's out on the street. I hope to God she does not. I hope to God she does not get pregnant. Now everyone knows she's not a virgin. She's 19 years old in college, no more in high school. Please, God, please don't let this girl get pregnant while she's waiting for trial. Oh my gosh. What if she tries to get pregnant and think that will help her get out of the situation if she has a baby? No, girl. No, girl. Yeah, because the judge that took it off said that the first judge was wrong for doing that. Yeah. I don't know. I just wish she would just get off the street and go to jail and stay in jail for killing her baby. Don't feel sorry for her at all. Not one bit. Nope. Was it the whole placenta removed in that other hospital ward? I think she passed it when she had the baby. But I don't know. I don't think they found a placenta when she went to Roswell Hospital. But back on my BS, different. All right, guys, I have to go. I need to eat. I'm getting sick. Gary quoted a bunch of irrelevant case laws, and no one looked up the law. He was citing that whole hearing was asked. Well, guess what? Are you talking about the motion to dismiss the charges, or the other one where they took the college and the boyfriend off? Oh, because I'm gonna play the tomorrow. I'm gonna start with the body cam footage, and then when I'm finished with the body cam footage, it'll take a couple of days. I'm gonna show that's Corey Richens. I'm going to show Corey Richens' court hearing. I know I scheduled it for tomorrow. I'm gonna have to move it. Thank you. Yes, she was allowed to go to school with her boyfriend in a totally different city than where she lives. I don't know, y'all. This is crazy. This is the documents from court for her arrest affidavit and the baby's court documents for the lawsuit. And tomorrow we'll start with the body cam footage of the hospital, of the police interviewing the parents and all, of the detectives interviewing all the nursing staff, the hospital staff, and of the detectives arresting her. So we'll go through all that body cam footage tomorrow and probably the next day. Definitely the next game, maybe 3, because it's like 7-8 hours long. Definitely not doing it in one day. So anyway, I'll see you guys tomorrow. Have a great evening.